Tonight on 7 News, grief and shock. 2 boys killed on their trail bike, run down by a bus at Bosley Park.
The hits keep coming. The new eye-watering price of groceries thanks to the fuel crisis.
Hold your fire. Donald Trump backs away from his threat to obliterate Iran, but for how long?
Chris Reason behind enemy lines in Lebanon, face-to-face with Hezbollah.
A kiss for a child killer, Kelly Lane, allowed out of prison to help her boyfriend.
The moment a plane was wiped out by a truck on a New York runway, killing both pilots. And
Dragon star Ryan Couchman facing a long suspension. We're live at the judiciary.
Live from Sydney, this is 7 News with Angela Cox and Mark Ferguson.
Good evening. 2 teenage boys who were killed when their trail bike was crushed under a bus in Sydney's west were riding illegally.
They were too young to have a licence and were on a section of road that's restricted to buses and emergency vehicles. Locals say it's a growing problem which last night ended in tragedy.
Wedged under the front wheels of a bus in Bosley Park, a mangled trail bike. Its riders' best mates, just 14 and 15 years old.
I saw this little kid get hit by a big bus. He wasn't breathing at all.
The boys had been riding along the Parramatta Transitway just after 7:20 last night. They shouldn't have been there in the first place.
It would appear that the bus was conducting a U-turn in the turning bay there on the T-way, and it was struck by the trail bike.
The 15-year-old lived just metres away, his family rushing to the scene as paramedics tried desperately to revive him. Both boys died at the scene.
2 beautiful young human beings have lost their life. What a waste.
Out of respect for the families, 7 News has chosen not to identify them, but they're well known in the area for stunts like this. Doing wheelies on the same road, riding the same bike. It was registered and the teenagers were wearing helmets, but given their ages, neither held a licence.
You can't have young kids using these bikes as toys. These are weapons.
At the scene today, a growing memorial. Some even riding bikes there to pay respects.
I remember him as my little daredevil. My ride or die, pretty much. It's really tragic to see him go.
The community has raised concerns about this T-way in the past. Although it's only reserved for buses and emergency vehicles, dozens of trail bike riders use it every night, putting themselves and others in danger.
Unfortunately, we can't be everywhere all the time. We can't patrol every single metre of that T-way.
The 48-year-old bus driver was taken to hospital last night for mandatory testing. He has since been released and is not expected to be charged. At this stage, police believe it was a tragic accident that could have been avoided if the boys hadn't been on the road. It's understood the pair's friends have organised a tribute right out for the teenagers next week.
Sam Payne, thank you. Heartless criminals have started siphoning petrol out of cars parked on the street as the crime wave from the fuel crisis gets worse by the day. Now, the price of fruit and veggies across Sydney is skyrocketing as grocers try to cover their ballooning costs.
At the fruit and veg shop, the rising price of petrol leaving supply far from apples.
Rather than coming daily to the market, it's only coming maybe twice a week.
Pushing up prices, the worst produce transported from interstate, like broccoli and fennel.
Probably about 25% to 30% increases so far.
Impacting small business, food producer Elizabeth Hewson sources her ingredients interstate.
How long can I ride this out? And you don't really want to make a drastic change like increase the price straight away.
Today, 51 petrol stations across the state have run dry, 164 without diesel, but fuel still being bought in bulk. This at a Western Sydney servo.
If demand management procedures are required, that might be rationing. We're firmly of the belief that it should be a nationally consistent approach.
Petrol thieves in Victoria targeting parked cars, prizing open fuel caps, siphoning tanks. Shoppers adjusting their habits. Retailers say customers are noticeably attempting to combine all of their store visits to one journey, keeping car use to a minimum. An Easter gift has been suggested.
Free public transport this Easter long weekend.
Costing up to $15 million, no from the government.
I welcome any good ideas here, but we're more looking for long-term solutions.
Chris Meyer, 7 News.
There's some hope. Iran's stranglehold on the Strait of Hormuz is coming to an end. Donald Trump has extended his deadline for the crucial waterway to be reopened while claiming a peace deal is possible. But Iran's leaders say he is lying to manipulate financial markets.
Buried but breathing. Rescuers claw through the rubble in Tehran after a hit on an apartment. While half a world away...
Who doesn't love Elvis? Everybody loves Elvis.
The man ordering the strikes casually strolls through Elvis Presley's home, Graceland.
He was terrific.
Claiming to have held secret talks with Iran.
They called. I didn't call. They called. They want to make a deal. And we are very willing to make a deal.
A change in tone days after his ultimatum, threatening to obliterate the country's power plants if the Strait of Hormuz wasn't reopened within 48 hours.
We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. Otherwise, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out.
The problem is, Iran is still launching attacks and publicly denies the talks, accusing Donald Trump of lying to manipulate the markets. Already stocks have gone up and oil prices have dropped, but adding to the confusion, Trump won't say who his negotiators, Steve Witkoff and son-in-law Jared Kushner, are talking to.
Because I don't want them to be killed.
Then adding,
they do have some leaders left. We blew up group number 1, group number 2, a lot of group number 3, but we think we have people that are very representative of the country and will do a good job.
Including a deal which could see the Strait of Hormuz jointly controlled. Even with hopes of peace, Iran's Revolutionary Guard keeps taunting Trump, covering missiles with his photo before firing them into enemy territory.
In the past hour here in Tel Aviv, interceptors of the Iron Dome have once again failed to take out a missile, and this is the extensive damage that's been left behind. You can see buildings ripped apart, cars were set on fire, but incredibly, no one was badly hurt. Donald Trump's supposed talks with Iran to wind down this war includes 15 points, and Steve Witkoff is reportedly on his way to Pakistan to hopefully meet face-to-face with senior Iranian officials, despite Tehran denying there are any such talks underway. One of those officials told CBS that points had been received by the US through mediators and they are now being reviewed. Mark?
Jacqueline Robson with the latest from Israel. Chief reporter Chris Reason is in Lebanon for us. And Chris, you've been given extraordinary frontline access to the terror group Hezbollah.
Mark, good evening. There is a propaganda war underway right now between Lebanon and Israel, and Hezbollah has given 7 News a guided tour of the battleground in their attempt to show the world the damage and toll that this war is taking on this country. It is a little uncomfortable dealing directly with that terror group, but Hezbollah has been part of the fabric of Lebanon for decades now. They have schools and hospitals, politicians in parliament, and now they claim that their citizens are being targeted unfairly in a war that they say they will simply not give up on. Driving into the heartland of Hezbollah, posters of their fallen leaders decorate the landscape, heroes of an organisation listed as terrorists in 20 countries, including Australia. We've arrived in Baalbek in the Bekaa Valley. We're deep here in the stronghold of Hezbollah territory. You can see posters of the leadership there. They've asked us to meet them at 11 a.m. There are other international media here. This is literally going to be a guided tour by Hezbollah of the latest missile strike site. The Hezbollah official arrives as promised.
No, don't shoot.
Okay. Oh. We can't identify him, but moments later he's leading a press-packed convoy to a place they claim is the site of Israeli war crimes. A home hit by airstrikes, 5 family members inside vaporised.
We didn't find any bodies.
This man lost his sister. How much anger do you have now?
Israel are a monster.
On top of the real war here, what was that and where? There is the public relations war to convince the world who's worse.
Let's go.
But already more than 1,000 in Lebanon have been killed and many more are homeless. There are now well over 1 million people displaced in Lebanon, and this is what they're running from, the possibility of devastating aerial missile attacks. The family that lived here didn't get the chance to flee. 8 lost. They call them martyrs, and trapped nearby, an Australian in panic. Lead the way.
It's very terrifying at the moment.
It is. Sydney panel beater Mohammed Betarek desperate to get to his home and kids.
My kids, they're terrified, you know, and I'm terrified myself, to be honest. As I was sleeping last night, I heard planes in the sky. Next minute, my whole house was shaking.
His new wife, Maze, is carrying a baby, but not a visa. They need urgent government help.
She's 2 months pregnant. Please get me out of here.
Worried they're bringing a new life into a place that could easily take it. In Baalbek, Lebanon, Chris Reason, 7 News.
Cheaper EVs, chocolate and wine will come as very welcome news for many Australians, but not everybody's impressed with the new trade deal struck today with Europe. The historic pact has our farmers up in arms, claiming they've been given the short end of the stick.
A $10 billion deal sealed with a kiss or two. A free trade deal opening access to the EU's 450 million consumers, allowing Australia to export more beef, lamb, sugar, grain, dairy, seafood and wine, while Australians will be able to buy cheaper European electric vehicles, champagne, wine and spirits, biscuits, chocolates and pasta. A deal worth $10 billion a year to Australia.
I think you call that hitting it for 6.
We are just very disappointed as a sector.
Even though beef quotas to Europe jumped from 4,000 to 35,000 tonnes a year and sheep meat from 6,000 to 31,000 tonnes.
Some of our competitors like Canada and New Zealand are way ahead of that, so we know it really is a low number for us.
To business, a significant deal.
We shouldn't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
And on naming rights, Australian producers can still use Kransky and Parmesan, Prosecco and Ouzo only domestically, and Feta, Romano and Gruyere only on existing products. Though his signature isn't on this deal, Donald Trump's fingerprints are all over it, though probably not in a way he imagines. He's punishing tariffs, encouraging Europe to deal with Australia instead.
Trust matters more than transactions.
It is possible to stick to the rules.
And on defence cooperation, another message.
Getting China right is a strategic imperative.
And now
we have each other's back.
While fronting up side by side. Mark Riley, 7 News.
It's been confirmed 2 pilots died and dozens of people were rushed to hospital when a passenger jet collided with a fire truck at New York's LaGuardia Airport.
The truck had been given permission to cross the runway, with an air traffic controller later admitting he messed up.
Disaster at LaGuardia. An Air Canada Express jet travelling at almost 170 kilometres an hour slams into a fire truck on landing. The collision catastrophic.
An aviation disaster, the likes of which we have not seen here in over 3 decades.
The cockpit obliterated. The pilot and co-pilot killed.
These were 2 young men at the start of their careers, so it's an absolute tragedy.
72 passengers and 4 crew were on the plane. 43 people, including 2 in the truck, were taken to hospital. Most have now been released.
We came in pretty hard. We immediately hit something and it was just chaos from there.
It was just a very loud boom and people hit their heads, people were bleeding.
A flight attendant was thrown from the plane, found almost 100 metres away, alive, still strapped into her seat. It's a total miracle, her daughter says. The fire truck was given permission to cross the runway to respond to another emergency.
Truck 1 company, cross 4 Delta.
Seconds before the fatal crash, this desperate plea from the tower.
Stop, truck 1, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop. Stop, truck 1, stop.
The controller devastated.
We were dealing with an emergency earlier. I messed up. No, man, you did the best you could.
With wreckage everywhere, that runway is expected to remain shut until the weekend. In the United States, Rob Scott, 7 News.
Convicted baby killer Kelly Lane was allowed out of prison today to help her boyfriend as he fights to get his teaching job back. He was sacked because of their relationship, which he claims is unfair and illegal.
A kiss for the man whose loyalty cost him his career. Kelly Lane out of prison today to support boyfriend Patrick Cogan at the Fair Work Commission.
How did it feel having Kelly here today to support you? That must have been pretty important to you.
Mr Cogan was sacked from his PE teacher job of almost 3 decades. The school saying he used his work email to engage with media about Miss Lane, breaching his contract.
Would you like your job back?
The Commission was told Mr Cogan and Lane have been in a relationship since 2008. It was no secret. He was by her side when she was found guilty in 2010 of murdering her baby daughter Tegan 4 years earlier. Giving evidence today, Mr Cogan insisted he only ever responded to emails from the media, never initiating contact, describing his dismissal as unfair.
This is the first time Kelly Lane has been out of prison since October last year, when her day release privileges were revoked. But she was given special leave to be here today to support Mr Cogan.
Back in October, she continued to protest her innocence.
Did you kill your daughter?
No, I did not.
Mr Cogan's hearing continues tomorrow, but without Lane, she's back in jail until her sentence ends in 2 more years. Clementine Cuneo, 7 News.
The King's Baton Relay has arrived in Sydney with 121 days to go until this year's Commonwealth Games in Scotland.
It's just been passed on to the Governor-General by our very own elite athlete, Matt Shervington.
A man on a mission, and boy, he's still quick. Our own Matt Shervington and the King's Baton Relay at full sprint across Sydney.
Now look at that and tell me that's not running.
The Baton has already toured some of Australia's most famous sites: Uluru, the waters of the Great Barrier Reef and the Sunrise Studio.
Aussie gymnastic champion Georgia Godwin is right here.
Hello. As soon as I could, I handed it off to Shervo and I was like, please look after it.
Shervo is no stranger to a relay, a bronze medalist in the men's 4x100 in the Commonwealth Games in 1998. Setting off today from 7 on a tour of the city before carefully handing the baton to the Governor-General.
Governor-General, how are you? Hand, there you go.
This one of 74 batons crafted from Scottish ash, one for each of the Commonwealth nations.
It is the first time that all 74 nations have had their own baton. I really wanted it to represent Australia, like all aspects of Australia, from our beautiful communities, our diverse landscapes.
The baton is now on its way to Tasmania for the last stop of its Australian tour. Its final destination, Glasgow, where it will join with the 73 others to reveal a special message from the King.
The word on our baton is welcome, and that'll find its way somewhere in his message when he delivers it at the opening ceremony.
Amber Laidler, 7 News.
Time to check the weather now with Angie Asimus. And Angie, what a spectacular day.
Yeah, really beautiful, Ange. Every day for the past week, Sydney's recorded some wet weather, but yesterday and today less than 1 millimetre, so things are improving. That has allowed the sun to shine and the maximum in the city to reach 27 degrees, 29 in our west. Even though it was fine today, there's still a lot of moisture around and humidity was high. It was even warmer inland. Plenty of centres reached the 30s, 33, the top at Griffith, 34 at Wilcannia. Now, our first significant cold change of the season will arrive in the coming days. A trough is expected to enter the state south from tomorrow, and that will be followed by a cold front. It will lead to a noticeable drop in temperature across the entire state. Details on when it'll reach Sydney coming up soon. Mark and Ange.
OK, thank you. A crushing blow for illegal e-bike riders next. Show and tell new laws to make this a reality.
Charges laid over a historic family conflict in Maryland.
An alleged Parliament House vandal tracked down in Greystanes.
Dozens of exotic animals and a lot of guns inside a Colleton home.
And after sport, how AI could add thousands of dollars to your pay. Welcome back. Police say a long-running family feud ignited the nasty brawl on a Maryland street over the weekend. Knives, batons, poles and even a shovel were allegedly used as weapons in the fight, which sent 3 people to hospital. Officers arrested 2 men in their 20s and a 61-year-old overnight. They're facing several assault-related charges, with police saying the fight was part of an ongoing historic family conflict. There's now a new threat for those who ride illegal e-bikes, a giant shredder.
The Minns government is fast-tracking laws that will see outlawed e-bikes seized and crushed. But the opposition says the clampdown should go further.
Crumpled, crushed, destroyed. This mangled mess is what's left of an illegal e-bike, seized by police and made into scrap metal, with a warning, yours could be next.
We will be crushing bikes in New South Wales shortly. The sooner the better.
The state government expediting new laws that will grant police powers to seize and destroy illegal e-bikes, including those that exceed the 250-watt power cap or are modified to reach more than 25 kilometres an hour. But that will not include trail bikes.
There will be some broader application here, but the focus is really clear, and that is the illegal e-motorbikes.
But the opposition believes these laws don't go far enough, doubling down on calls for licensing and registration to ensure the dangerous riders are held accountable for their actions.
We believe that a licence plate front and back of the bike identifies the rider and makes that identification easy, so there's accountability for riders.
The government quickly shot that down, believing it would put an unfair cost on reasonable riders looking for a cheaper form of transport.
The advice to me is that that won't assist with enforcement.
Instead, backing the threat of losing your wheels altogether. Taylor Aiken, 7 News.
State Parliament has been damaged in an early morning act of vandalism. Security vision captured the moment a metal barbell was thrown at a window on Macquarie Street just after 2 o'clock. It smashed a small pane of glass. Just hours later, police arrested a 37-year-old man in Greystanes, charging him with damaging property and entering enclosed land.
Raptor squad officers got more than they bargained for when they raided a property in Collerton in Sydney's west. 20 snakes, 4 tortoises, 12 turtles and a number of dead animals, including a decapitated possum, were found inside, along with 3 pistols, a rifle, a short and double-barrel shotgun and ammunition. The suspect, a 24-year-old man with alleged links to organised crime and bikie gangs, tried to run away but was chased down and arrested. Charges relating to illegally imported exotic animals alone could land him behind bars for up to 10 years.
More of your top local stories still to come. Long delays, patients on the floor. What's happening in Westmead Hospital?
Exclusive 7 Hills break and enters what the victims have in common.
Thumbs up for thousands of Sydney shops and cafes to open all night.
Medieval masterpiece for sale, a unique slice of Aussie real estate.
The stage is set in a stunning location for the Phantom's return.
And ahead in sport, the shock coaching split at the Broncos and why they didn't see it coming.
More hospital chaos tonight, with patients forced to sleep on the floor at one of Western Sydney's busiest emergency departments.
The state government claims the cases weren't urgent, but the footage is sparking fresh calls for an inquiry.
Waiting long into the night.
I've been in hospital now for over 11 hours. Westmead Hospital, you have people laying down on the floor.
Patients in Westmead's emergency department left at the end of their tether.
You've got people waiting up to 20 hours to see a doctor. The waiting rooms are completely full.
Yet another symptom of a hospital system under strain.
Generally 6-7 hours is very standard waiting time here.
The same people out there in the morning on the ground, sleeping, on the lounges everywhere. We do need help with this hospital.
The video sparking an apology from New South Wales Health, but insisting there were spaces available in the waiting area and no patients were required to lie on the floor.
Over and over and over again, the opposition has been calling for an inquiry into health in Western Sydney. Surely that time is now.
But the Health Minister's office has told 7 News many of the people presenting to the ED are triage 4 or 5 among the lower urgency levels. They're encouraging those people to call Health Direct for immediate medical advice before going to hospital in an attempt to slash wait times.
Now undertaking the biggest ever hospital staff recruitment drive, the pressure increasingly laid bare. Nick Overall, 7 News.
A flight school owner has been found guilty of safety breaches 5 years after 2 skydivers died in Goulburn. Vision released today shows 32-year-old Alex Welling smiling while strapped to experienced instructor Stephen Hoare. They jump, but their equipment gets snagged on a metal step of the Cessna aeroplane. Attempts to rescue them were unsuccessful. The owner, Attilio Giovanni Ferrara, will be sentenced later this year.
Outraged shop owners in Sydney's northwest want to help to track down a gang of thieves. This vision obtained by 7 News shows them kicking in a glass door at one Indian restaurant in Seven Hills this morning. The 3 thieves also robbed another Indian restaurant a short time later. They only stole a few $100s, but the damage bill is huge.
Sydney is a step closer to allowing every business in the CBD to trade 24 hours day and night, from clubs and pubs to restaurants and retail. The council signed off on the plan last night, which is now up for review and would extend all-night trade to other areas as well.
First, we were locked out, then locked down. How to find the key to restoring Sydney's nightlife.
It's sad. Nothing's happening. This is ridiculous. We live in Sydney. Why can't I get a dinner meal at any time of the day?
The City of Sydney last night approving plans for around-the-clock trade.
When they come to Sydney, they want to know that they can go to a pub or a club or a restaurant or a cafe at any time.
The big winners are the hotspots, Oxford Street, King's Cross and the CBD, where every business from pubs and clubs to restaurants and retail could apply for 24-hour trade. For up-and-coming areas like Barangaroo, Broadway and William Street, anyone with a licence could ask to trade until dawn. Anyone without one could ask to open all night. And for fringe zones like part of Glebe, Surrey Hills and Chippendale, it'd be pubs and clubs till midnight, restaurants and retail till 2. A 24-hour CBD sounds like a boost for the economy, but for many businesses, it's out of reach. With soaring costs, the question isn't can they open later, it's can they afford to.
If I don't have patrons here, it's going to cost me money to be open, right? If there are crowds around and Sydney CBD becomes that vibrant hub of entertainment, 100%, it's definitely worth all the hospitality business to stay open.
Inga Nielsen, 7 News.
Australian airports stuck in the past. Next, the digital plan to cut the queues.
Easter shrinkflation, a rip-off warning for eggs and hot cross buns.
Check your shoes for sneaky snakes waiting on the doorstep.
And in sport, after their Ashes debacle, the review that changes absolutely nothing for England.
Hello, the market dined out early on the US president's taco moment. Trump always chickens out, that is, bouncing back from yesterday's 10-month low. The momentum didn't last, though, and the market lost most of its gains by the close as the oil price crept back up. Struggling department store Myer has posted a $40 million profit for the half year. That's a jump of 33%, but it's still fallen short of market expectations. Not a massive surprise given fuel prices, inflation and higher interest rates. ANZ's weekly measure of consumer confidence has hit its lowest point since records began back in 1973. The ASX 200 finished marginally higher. Miners lifted. Energy stocks mostly went the other way. KMD Brands, owner of Rip Curl and Kathmandu, jumped on the back of a takeover bid. The Aussie dollar currently buying 69 US cents.
Consumer Crusader Choice has found that getting value for money at supermarkets this Easter could be like pulling a rabbit from a hat. It's asked Cadbury for a please explain over these popular packs of hunting eggs, which have shrunk in size from last year while skyrocketing in price. It's also called out Aldi for shrinking the size of its hot cross buns while not reducing the cost. Australia's biggest airports have joined forces to call for an urgent immigration upgrade.
They claim Australia is falling behind other countries which use safer and faster passport processing.
Sick of lines inside their buildings, airport bosses drew one of their own, joining tourism leaders calling for a new dawn on border technology.
It is the ultimate brand moment.
And right now they say we're off-brand, falling behind countries with more streamlined digital border security. They want a digital incoming passenger declaration trial sped up, currently limited to select Sydney and Brisbane flights.
I know it's symbolic. We have to move on. It's really, really critical that we do this because you can see the level of investment that's occurring.
Between them, our 3 biggest airports are spending $15 billion on upgrades. Potentially wasted, they argue, if we don't also fix back-of-house operations.
What we don't want to see is capacity added effectively for holding pens for the lack of efficiency in our arrivals process.
Border Force expects international arrival numbers to rise 40% in the next 3 years. Publicly, airport bosses don't appear worried about jet fuel. They have a relatively healthy 39 days supply.
We're seeing tankers coming in and still green lighting out to the middle to the end of May, which is very consistent with what the government is saying as far as fuel supply.
But Jetstar has reduced services to and around New Zealand. It blames rising costs, but says the changes are temporary. Blake Johnson, 7 News.
A reminder now to always check your shoes before putting them on. Snake catcher Bronte was called to a house at Mulbring in the Hunter Valley yesterday and found a red-bellied black snake curled up in a sneaker. The shoe was just inside the front door. It took a gentle shake to get the little reptile out of the shoe. Bronte relocated the snake to a patch of nearby bushland.
Time now for a blood supply update from Lifeblood. Right now, O negative and AB positive are at concerning levels, with people of all blood types urged to book a donation. More plasma donors are also needed, so patients with cancer and immune deficiencies can receive treatment. You can search blood supply or visit lifeblood.com.au to book.
Using AI for good. Still to come, how the technology many fear could help make you money.
And a king's ransom for an Aussie castle. Don't miss those stories soon on 7 News. But first, Matt's back with sport. Matt Penrith make their move on the Clearys.
Yeah, no hurry on this one, but it's pretty important to get it done. The Panthers are confident they can keep both Ivan and Nathan long term. The details next. Plus, we're live at the NRL judiciary as the Dragons' Ryan Couchman faces a hip drop charge. And more dramas at the Broncos. An assistant coach quits after clashing with Michael Maguire. A win for the Rabbitohs off the field today. From next year, South Sydney will play more home games at Allianz Stadium, the base of their arch rivals, the Roosters. The Bunnies will play 4 games at Allianz next year and 5 games there every season until 2030. The rest of their home games will be at a core stadium. Meanwhile, the Panthers are ramping up talks to secure the long-term futures of both Ivan and Nathan Cleary.
An unbeaten co-captain happy to talk in the now.
It's been a nice start, but you certainly don't talk about this at the end of the year, but it's certainly nice to be 3-0.
Yo, and the Panthers also eyeing the future. Ivan and Nathan Cleary off contract at the end of 2027. Talks underway to extend their deals.
I love it to be the case, whether that eventuates or not. I guess that'll be pretty drawn out and be in the media, particularly over the sort of next 12 months, but you'd love to see him stay.
The Panthers relishing rule changes for faster, high-fatigue football, none more than Brian To'o.
He takes in everything that we talk about in meetings and strategy and stuff like that, and he can't with, obviously 2 wonderful kicks that, it's probably a bit of a backbreaker, I think, for the Roosters.
The Eels pump for Saturday's Battle of the West at Combank. Luca Moretti recalled for the injured Jermaine Hopgood. Bailey Simonson's biggest concern, shutting down fellow winger Tom Jenkins. The Panthers flyer has already scored 8 tries this season.
He's been playing really good footy, so that excites me because he's probably been the best winger in the comp, to be fair, to start the year, so it's a good challenge.
Boasting only 1 win, Aden Fanua-Blake happy to take the rap for the Sharks' poor start to the season.
If the onus is on me, I'll take it. I'll definitely put my hand up to take it, and I feel like what we've got to get right is respecting the ball.
Sunday, Canberra. The Raiders still hurting from last week's loss to the Bulldogs, let alone last year's finals loss to the Sharks.
They play with their heart, play energetic. You know what you're going to get. They'd be coming to give it to us.
Andrew McKinlay, 7 News.
Dragons forward Ryan Couchman is facing the NRL judiciary tonight after being referred straight to the panel for a hip drop tackle on Parramatta's Jermaine Hopgood. Jaleesa Apps is there. G'day, Jaleesa. What's the latest?
Matt, I've just come out. No surprises that Couchman entered a guilty plea after it went straight to the judiciary. That is, of course, after that tackle of Jermaine Hopgood, which sadly ended his season with an ACL injury. As I mentioned, this went straight to the judiciary, so you'd imagine he's facing a pretty lengthy stint on the sidelines. Now, just when I was in there, they were debating the severity of the tackle. His defence was trying to say that Hopgood's foot somewhat got caught under and that it was lagging, and Couchman couldn't have predicted where his body was going to land, but certainly they do concede that it is a hip drop tackle. It's just how long he is going to get. If you look at Pat Carrigan, a few years ago in 2022 on Jackson Hastings, he got 4 weeks on the sideline for an ankle injury to Jackson Hastings, and certainly these things, whether that's right or wrong, they do get taken more seriously when there is a serious injury involved, but they're just debating in there at the moment, so we'll know in a few hours' time, but I'd say he's looking at least 4 weeks on the sideline.
Yeah, that seems to be the general gist, doesn't it? Thank you, Jaleesa. Keep us updated on that one. Well, the Broncos say they're shocked and disappointed after assistant coach Ben Teo quit following a heated clash with Michael Maguire. The pair disagreed over tactics in the lead-up to last week's win over the Melbourne Storm.
We were, I suppose, shocked, and certainly disappointed that someone like Ben, who we hold in such high regard, had made that call.
Now, Payne Haas has been ruled out with a shoulder injury for Friday's clash with the Dolphins, but skipper Adam Reynolds returns from a rib injury. Other news, West Tigers halfback Adam Dewey has been named to face the Warriors. Jock Madden replaces Jerome Luai at 5'8". And Roosters centre Billy Smith returns to face the Seagulls after suffering concussion in an e-bike accident. A shock admission from Craig Bellamy on Seven's agenda setters last night. He's unsure if Eli Katoa will ever return to rugby league.
I don't know whether he'll play again. The doctors haven't made that decision yet, and I don't know when that decision will get made, to be quite honest.
Katoa needed emergency brain surgery after copping multiple head knocks in the Pacific Championships. He's the captain of the Socceroos, but Matt Ryan admits there are no guarantees under Tony Popovich. Ryan's battling with Paul Izzo to be the first choice goalkeeper for the World Cup in North America, beginning in June.
Tony does a great job at creating that environment in here. There's no hierarchy.
The Aussies take on Cameroon in a friendly at Accor Stadium on Friday night. Well, Baz has survived, but Baz Ball appears dead after England's inquiry into their Ashes debacle. Brendan McCullum, Ben Stokes and Managing Director Rob Key all somehow dodged the axe, but the message is clear. The reckless playing style needs to change.
They just have to be relentless in how they do it, ruthless, smart, those things. At times we've thrown too many opportunities away. They just have to keep evolving.
The inquiry found there's no drinking culture despite those off-field incidents, and in a social media post full of F-bombs, by the way, a fired-up Stokes declared he has a lot more to give English cricket. In the Caribbean, Georgia Vole powered Australia to a 3-0 sweep of their T20 series against the West Indies.
Down on one knee and just majestic.
Vole's first T20 century for Australia lifted the visitors to 7 for 211. The Windies lost 3 early wickets before rain ended the match. The Aussies winning it by 40 runs via the Duckworth-Lewis system. And Aussie sprint stars Gout and Lachlan Kennedy will lock horns again at the Maurie Plant meet in Melbourne on Saturday night. After upstaging Gout in last year's 200 metres final, Kennedy plans to go even faster.
I mean, it was a cracking race last year. I had so much fun. I'm planning on having a similar result. Hopefully we can run an even faster time.
Head-to-head superstars. The Maurie Plant meet is live and free on 7 and 7+. I don't know about you guys, but the way the Shervo was running with the King's Baton, he's got to go back. Let's put him in
fast.
there.
Maybe third. Maybe third.
He's fast.
He's fast.
Still.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Matt. Australians could boost their pay by an estimated $11,000 a year if they learn how to use artificial intelligence properly.
But as AI reshapes our workforce, millions of workers are worried future tech will make them redundant.
University students are embracing AI.
I feel like it's a good tool to help people.
Speeds up some processes, makes it more efficient.
Workers think so too. 84% are using AI tools every day, but according to RMIT Online and Deloitte, only 7% are considered proficient.
If we can bridge the gap, it can create as much as $18.9 billion of benefit to the economy.
And for employees, that could mean a pay rise.
Moving from being a beginner in AI to being proficient or an expert, it's about $11,000 per year.
AI is going to change everything, so it's either going to be the case that your job will be changed by AI,
or you will change your job with AI. And it's the second one there which will give you more agency.
Almost a third of workers are worried they'll lose their job. The AI impact is already being felt, particularly in fields like admin and web development.
It really is the time to upskill yourself on what AI can do, how you can build agents to do repetitive tasks and that type of thing, to protect yourself from AI. It sounds strange, but it really is the thing to be looking at.
Are you worried heading into the workforce?
Not really, to be honest. If I do want to go into something with the arts, I don't really think that AI can replace it.
Georgia Holland, 7 News.
One of Australia's most unique homes is up for sale, but buyer beware, it's like stepping back in time. Castle Rumble is the medieval masterpiece of a local builder from Logan in Brisbane South. Until now, Brian Rumble resisted lucrative offers to sell, but he's now in his mid-80s and believes the time has come. The 10-hectare site could be developed into 100 homes, so Brian could be in line for what amounts to be a king's ransom.
A real scene stealer on the bright side. Next, one of the world's most famous musicals like you've never seen it.
And another warm, sunny day on the way tomorrow, but there is a grade change around the corner. Details next.
Tomorrow on Sunrise, one of Australia's biggest online travel sales is back.
Yeah, where to score epic savings on your next holiday, from budget stays to luxury escapes.
See you in the morning, Sydney.
On 7 News tomorrow, stealing your car, opening your garage door, the locksmith tools bought online, giving criminals keyless entry.
It's becoming a global trend.
How to outsmart thieves and protect your property. 7 News tomorrow at 6.
Well, we are in the middle of a bit of a dream run at the moment. Another day just like this one on the way tomorrow. Before that, all changes later in the week. Today, just beautiful, clear, 27 degrees, and it hasn't cooled down too much just yet, still sitting on 24 degrees right now. Those lovely summery temperatures were felt right across the suburbs. Cronulla, 27 degrees today, Parramatta, 28, and Penrith reached 29. Picking up the satellite image, high pressure in the Tasman is responsible for this nice settled patch, just a moisture-laden airstream pushing the odd shower onto the coast only. A new trough is expected to enter the state's south tomorrow, and that system will be reinforced by a cold front crossing New South Wales on Thursday or early Friday. A significant cold change will impact the entire state in its wake. Around the capitals for tomorrow, Brisbane fine, avoiding all of that, staying warm, 30 degrees, but some showers developing through the southeast with that approaching change. It'll start with an afternoon shower in Canberra, even a storm likely in the afternoon. Showers also developing through Melbourne, Hobart and into Adelaide. Statewide, just some isolated showers continuing in the east, not much in that, but some storms possibly developing in the south as that change tracks closer. Hazardous surf conditions along the north coast, but apart from that, the rest of the state's looking settled and warm again. Newcastle on track for a top of 27 degrees, 30 degrees on the way for Mudgee and 32 further south at Wagga. Sydney suburbs looking settled again tomorrow. Lots of sunshine, a possible morning fog in the west. That should all burn off quickly. Most centres to hit the high 20s. Also pleasant conditions in the Blue Mountains, a top of 23 degrees on the way for Katoomba. Sydney waters tomorrow, variable winds to 10 knots, easterly swell to around 1.5 metres. Now, if we zoom in on the city centre for tomorrow, lots more sunshine on the way, a very warm top of 28 degrees and winds staying nice and light. But for the week ahead, Thursday is the day it all changes. It'll start out sunny and warm, 30 degrees, with showers and a storm likely in the afternoon and evening. Then some showers again for Friday and a significant drop in temperature. 21 the top in the city, 19 in our west. Cool but mostly fine over the weekend, warming up again by about this time next week. So enjoy tomorrow. A bit unsettled towards the end of the week, Mark and Ange.
Wednesday looking good.
It does.
Thanks, Angie. Now here's Amy Clements with The Bright Side.
On the harbour, a grand staircase rises from the water and a chandelier is put in place.
Tell me a little bit about what's going on here.
Oh my lordy, have a look. If you just peer over your right shoulder, she's bigger than Ben-Hur, and it's a little show that we've all put together called Phantom of the Opera on the harbour.
And at the centre of it all, 22-year-old Jake Lyle, one of the youngest performers to ever take on the Phantom.
Well, how does a boy from Gladstone discover the opera?
Well,
I guess it's not your traditional path as a boy from Gladstone.
Bright side today, behind the scenes before night falls and the magic hits.
I mean, it's the role I've been dreaming about since I was 14, so to get that call is just something I never thought would happen this stage in my career.
What does the harbour add to it, do you think?
It adds what nowhere else in the world can give this show. It doesn't matter how many times you've seen the show, you've never seen a production like this. It doesn't matter how many times you hear those first chords of the orchestra, of the overture. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event.
Wow, looks spectacular.
What a setting.
Yeah, that is 7 News for this Tuesday. We will have updates for you throughout the evening.
From all the team, I hope you have a great night.
Good night.